Charlie Sheen's illustrious acting career has been arguably eclipsed in the media by his warlock days of winning during a very public breakdown a decade ago. On the 10th anniversary of Sheen's Tiger Blood meltdown, the now 55-year-old is recounting his downfall and making plans for his Act 3 in a candid new interview with Yahoo. In 2011, Sheen was at the top of his professional career as the highest-paid actor on television when he spiraled into substance abuse and mental health issues. People have said to me, "Hey, man, that was so cool, that was so fun to watch, that was so cool to be a part of and support and all that energy and, you know, we stuck it to the man," Sheen recalled in his interview. "My thought behind that is, oh, yeah, great. I'm so glad that I traded early retirement for effing hashtag," he continued, referencing hashtag winning and hashtag Tiger Blood, two of his famous phrases that permanently made it into the pop culture zeitgeist. A decade ago, Charlie had dozens of high-profile film roles under his belt and was raking in nearly $2 million an episode on his CBS hit sitcom Two. Despite his flourishing professional success, internally the actor was heading down a dark path of addiction and mental health problems on the heels of his divorce from his third wife. Sheen gave a series of highly publicized interviews with various news outlets where he appeared hyper, unhinged, and the glassy-eyed star uttered his now iconic phrases declaring he was winning, drinking tiger blood, had adonis DNA and other. When network executives tried to reel him in, he demanded a higher salary and engaged in a public feud with the powers that be at CBS like Moonves. There's a moment when former CBS CEO, Moonves, and his top lawyer, Bruce, were at my house and they said, "Okay, the Warner jet is fueled up on the runway, wheels up in an hour and going to rehab, right?" My first thought was sort of like, really, Terry's some comedy value to what my first thought was, Sheen recalled. In that moment, when I said, "Oh, damn, I finally get the Warner jet. That's all I heard," he continued, adding with regret, "But if I could go back in time to that moment, I would've gotten on the jet." And it was that giant left turn in that moment that led to, you know, a very unfortunate sequence of public and Sheen was fired from 2.5 Men in March of 2011 and replaced in the series by Ashton. There was 55 different ways for me to handle that situation, and I chose number 56. And so, you know, I think the growth for me post-meltdown or melt forward or melt somewhere, however you want to label it has to start with absolute ownership of my role and all, adding that his behavior was desperately juvenile. Unknown to the public at the time, Sheen been diagnosed with HIV that same year, a fact he would later reveal in 20. When he finally announced his diagnosis, the actor revealed that since 2011 he had shelled out nearly $10 million to keep his HIV status. "I was getting loaded and my brain wasn't working right," Sheen continued. To say it was a tad overwhelming is a radical understatement. The 2011 incidents were not Sheen's first or even second brush with substance. Charlie has been arrested on drug and assault charges in the past, and in 1998 he overdosed on cocaine, suffering a stroke. Has also been to rehab several times for his issues. After his firing from 2.5 Men, Sheen performed a series of sold-out one-man shows at Radio City Musical Hall with hordes of fans wearing Tiger Blood t-shirts and screaming winning from the audience. The support and fanfare of his rock-bottom moment, as if it was being done, is intentionally performative, he recalls, really made the situation worse for him. They showed up in droves with banners and songs, all types of fanfare and celebration of, you know, what I think was a very public display of a mental health moment, he said looking back. On the heels of his breakdown, Sheen seemed to have righted himself and starred in the series Anger Management on FX for 2 seasons but then largely fell off them. He has plans, however, to get back in front of the camera. I have absolute faith that the things I'm going to do professionally in Act 3 are going to put a muzzle on all that stuff and people can celebrate me again for what I actually do for a living, he told